Genesis 39. Make sure to like, share, and follow. And from the blue and purple and the crimson yarns, they made woven garments for serving in the sanctuary. And they made the holy garments that were for Aaron, as Yahweh commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and crimson yarns, and finely twisted linen. And he hammered out the leaves of gold, and he cut off cords to weave in the midst of the blue, and in the midst of the purple, in the midst of the crimson, in the midst of the linen, and the work of the skilled craftsmen. They made joined shoulder pieces for it. It was joined on its two edges, and the waistband of his ephod, which was of one piece with it, was of like work, blue, gold, and purple, and crimson yarns, and finely twisted linen, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And they made onyx stones mounted in gold filigree settings, engraved with seal engravings according to the names of the Israelites. And he set on them the ephod's shoulder pieces as stones of remembrance for the Israelites, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And he made the breastpiece the work of the skilled craftsmen, like the work of the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and crimson yarns, and finely twisted linen. And it was squared, and they made breastpiece doubled, and its length was a span, and its width was a span when doubled. And they filled it with 4 rows of stone, and a row of carnelian, topaz, and emerald was the first row. And the second row was malachet, a sphere, and a moonstone. And the third row was a jacinth, an agate, and amethyst. And the fourth row was turquoise, an onyx, and a jasper. They were set with gold filigree settings in their mountings. And the stones were according to the names of the Israelites. There were 12 according to their names, with the seal engravings, each according to its name for the 12th tribe. And they made the breastpiece braided chains, a work of pure gold ornamental cord. And they made 2 gold filigrees settings, 2 gold rings, and they put the 2 rings on the 2 edges of the breastpiece. And they put the 2 gold ornamental cords on the 2 rings on the edges of the breastpiece. And they put the 2 ends of the 2 ornamental cords on the 2 filigrees settings, and they put them on the shoulder piece of the ephod at the front of it. And they made 2 gold rings, and they placed them on the 2 edges of the breastpiece, on its lip, and on its, and that is on the other side of the ephod to the inside. And they made 2 gold rings, and put them on the ephod's 2 shoulder pieces below at its front, near its seam, above the waistband of the ephod. And they tied the breastpiece by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a blue cord, so that the breastpiece would be on the waistband of the ephod, and not come loose from the ephod, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod weaver's work totally of blue yarn, and the opening of the robe in the middle of it was like the opening of the sturdy garment, with an edge of its opening all around, so that it would not be torn. And they made on the hem of the robe pomegranates of finely twisted blue and purple and crimson. And they made pure gold bells, and they put the bells on the midst of the pomegranates, on the hem of the robe, all around, in the midst of the pomegranates, a bell of pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate on the hem of the robe, all around for serving, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And they made the tunic of fine linen, a weaver's work for Aaron and for his sons, and the turban of fine linen, and the headdresses of the headbands of the fine linen, and the undergarments of the linen cloth, finely twisted, and a sash of finely twisted linen, and blue and purple and crimson yarns, and the work of embroider, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And they made the rosette of the holy diadem of pure gold, and they wrote on it with the writing of the seal engravings as a holy object for yarn. And they put a blue cord on it, and they put it above on the turban, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of assembly was finished, and the Israelites had done according to all Yahweh had commanded Moses. And they did, and they brought the tabernacle to Moses, and the tent, and all its equipment, and its hooks, and its frames, and its bars, and its pillars, and its bases, and the coverings, and the red dye, ram skin, and the covering of fine leather, and the curtain of the screen, the ark of the testimony and its poles and the atonement cover, and the table of the equipment and the bread of the presence, the pure gold lampstand and its lamps, the lamps in the row and all its equipment, and all of the oil of the light, the gold altar, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, and the screen of the entrance of the tent, the bronze altar, and the bronze grating that is for its poles, and its equipment in the basin and its stands, the hangings of the courtyard, its pillars and its bases, and its screen for the courtyard gate, its tent, its cords, its pegs, and all the equipment of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of assembly, the woven garments for the serving the sanctuary, the holy garments for Aaron and the priest of the garments, for his sons to serve as priests, according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moses. And so the Israelites did all the work, and Moses saw all the work. And indeed they had done it as Yahweh had commanded, so they did, and Moses blessed them. May God bless you, and may God bless the reading of his word.